so much, Congressman, for coming to speak today. We are delighted to host you here at Brighton West End, and we'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. That's great. Well, I'm delighted to be here at Brightview. Thank you for hearing now. Is that better? Not better? I'll shout into the microphone. How about that? Yes. All right. Well, I'm delighted to be with everybody. And thank you for participating in the recent primary election. I appreciate that. And I think I won renomination in my party with 95.6% of the vote. Well, I appreciate that, but I realize I'm a real politician because I'm looking for that other 4.4%. I don't know what I did wrong. I'm delighted to be with all of you, and I am excited to be with you during this election year. Obviously, it's a big election, and I'm happy to answer any questions about that. I'm happy to answer any questions about my work on Capitol Hill, which is always interesting. I don't know how much you followed my Oversight Committee hearing last Thursday. A little background on that. The majority members of the committee called a hearing at 11 a.m. on Thursday for a proposed citation of contempt against the Attorney General of the United States. We were supposed to meet at 11 a.m. And then it was postponed until 8 p.m., which was highly irregular. It was a 9-hour postponement because the members of the majority traveled to New York City to join the trial of a Florida man who's on trial in New York for allegedly paying $130,000 in hush money to a porn star mistress. And so we were waiting there all day for this hearing, and when they got back, allegedly, some people had been drinking, but this had not been confirmed, but some of them confronted our members, and there were, you know, in a parliamentary institution, there's so much emotion and there's so much passion generally that there is one basic rule we follow, which is you can discuss the substance of an issue, you can discuss the process of an issue, you can invoke literature, you can invoke history, you can invoke art and science. The one thing you cannot do is to engage in a direct personal insult against another member. You cannot ridicule them, mock them, or, for example, make fun of their eyelashes and say that they're wearing fake eyelashes. Unfortunately, the chairman of the committee did not respond to our appeal to take the words down, which is to say, let's remove them from the record and just imagine this unpleasantness never happened. But he didn't want to do that, and I told him, I said, it's not going to be a good scene if you don't do that, because, you know, what is the expression? Sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander, and our people are already very unhappy about our schedules being messed up and waiting around for 9 hours, and your guys missing all these votes to go to the trial of the Florida man in New York. And so, in any event, they chose not to take the words down, and then at that point, the affronted Democratic member of the committee, my colleague Jasmine Crockett from Texas, she then posed a hypothetical question saying, well, if you're saying that that is allowed, does that mean someone could come in and call someone a bleach blonde, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And then we were off to the races, and it was a nightmare. I moved to adjourn very quickly. I didn't like the way things were going, but the chairman, in any event, didn't want to do that, although they did end up cutting off debate and amendments, and so welcome to my world. You know, I used to be a tenured professor of constitutional law for 25 years. People say to me, wait, you were a tenured professor of constitutional law? You gave up your professorship to go and join this? And I said, it seemed like a really good idea at the time. But no, I was in the Maryland State Senate for 10 years, and I was the majority whip, and we got a lot of great stuff done there. We passed very tough anti-drunk driving legislation. We passed marriage equality, so everybody could get married in Maryland. We developed a medical marijuana program. We restored voting rights for former prisoners, and so I thought, Chris Van Hollen called me up one day and he said, Senator Mikulski's stepping down, I'm going to run for the U.S. Senate. Will you support me? I said, Chris, not only will I support you, I'll run for your seat. And that was how I decided to do it. And then I got elected to Congress the same night Donald Trump got elected president of the United States. And so it was not quite what I had expected. But in any event, we are hanging tough for American constitutional democracy. We're hanging tough for freedom and for women's right to choose across the country. And we're, it's funny, one of a colleague from South Carolina, a guy I really liked a lot, his name is Trey Gowdy. He's a Republican, but we were friends, and on the way out he said to me, Raskin, you're not a bad guy, the problem with you is you're a liberal. I said, you know what, you're damn right I'm a liberal. The heart of that word is liberty, and I'm a progressive because the heart of that word is progress. But my favorite thing to call myself these days is a conservative because I want to conserve the land, the air, the water, the climate system, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act, the National Labor Relations Act, the Fair Labor Standards Act, the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, everything that the nihilists and the authoritarians want to tear down is everything that we want to conserve. So all I'm telling people out on the road now is I want our party to be the party of the liberal.